Throughout the Super Mario franchise, Bowser has used vehicles a lot, and there's one that's certainly seen the most, the legendary airship. So let's see how this mighty war machine, that funny enough functions as a level, evolved in all those years. Equipped with large propellers, cannons, bullet bills and more, it soars through the sky, looking for its target. These huge war machines, which are often seen in fleets, have to be the most powerful weapon in Bowser's arsenal. It first appeared in Super Mario Bros. 3, where the Koopalings used them to invade the Mushroom Kingdom. So they played an essential part in the story, and the only reason why they were included was to create a cool setting for a grand level. That's also the biggest reason why they are filled to the brim with enemies and obstacles for the player to get past in order to fight the boss. Things like the bombs, bullet bills, fire and the whole Rocky Ranch crew need to be beaten to reach its main cabin. It's similar to the castle levels seen in the first game and later Super Mario games. It's like a final challenge. However, the fact that it's a moving vehicle opens the door to some new things. For example, an auto-scroller level. Everything slowly moves forwards and you need to keep up and look out because you don't want to get trapped between the screen and other obstacles. This forces the player to hurry up, and there is also a new element of danger, adding another special touch to these levels, which separates them from the normal ones. And there is more, because if you fail to clear the level, the airship will fly away to another location. So there is an actual punishment to not completing the level, besides the fact that you need to start over. This makes it a lot more meaningful and important in the long run, because messing up has actual consequences, which can't be said about the castles. Now there are a lot of these levels in the game, and even special types of them, and some even have treasure. There are a total of 18, including one cargo loader and a command ship manned by Boom Boom. Aside from those, there are also treasure ships. They can be found in Super Mario Bros. 3 after finishing a level with a coin total that is the multiple of 11. If the 10 digits in the score match this number, and the last digit on the timer is an even number, one will appear. So besides boss levels, they can also be filled with loot, and to be honest, it's quite an interesting secret, because they're really hard to get to. A lot of people probably never saw this coming, and the treasure found there is also quite good. Now the music heard on the airships is probably based on Mars the Bringer of War from Gustav Holst's The Planet Suite. This is one of the musical pieces from a 7-movement orchestral suite by the English composer Gustav Holst, written between 1914 and 1916. Quite unexpected that Nintendo was inspired by this, because the music was created so long ago. But as you can hear, inspiration can come from the strangest and furthest places. Now from this point onward, these flying Doom machines became a regular in the series, which is quite understandable. It was a very interesting setting after all. However, in Super Mario World, they did something completely different with it. A crashed, ruined airship from Super Mario Bros. 3, named the Sunken Ghost Ship, can be explored in Soda Lake. It is haunted with booze, filled with water, and is completely destroyed and in ruins. It's a huge shift compared to the previous version. Personally, I'm a big fan of this concept. It did something completely different with the original idea, and showed off a ton of new mechanics and gimmicks. For example, the boosts that pop out of nowhere and fill almost the entire screen, or the fact that it went from an auto-scrolling level to an underwater section. Super Mario World was always praised for its creativity and innovation when it came to the 2D games, and this is a great example of it. However, this era was coming to an end. The 3D games were around the corner because of the new, powerful hardware of the N64. The games on that console didn't really have an airship. They did a lot of experimenting, and the only place we saw something similar to it was in Rainbow Ride. However, it didn't really play a role in the whole world, so it certainly took a step back. Even the first game of the 2D revival, called New Super Mario Bros., did absolutely nothing special with it. We see it in a minigame called Bomb Squad, where it flies around and delivers parabombs, as well as appearing in a minigame called Balloon Racing. So, nothing special. It wasn't even seen in the actual levels. Now the series that ended up reviving it was actually a 3D one, named Super Mario Galaxy, where it was actually used quite heavily because of the space theme. In the game, Bowser and his Koopa troop attack Princess Peach's castle with airships. This could be a bit of a throwback to Super Mario Bros. 3, where they did something similar. However, I'm not sure about this. It does make for an epic looking cutscene though. And later in the game, Mario has to fight enemies on airships. There are a total of 3 stages that use them. A lot of bosses like King Caliante and Camilla tend to use them, similar to what we saw in the first game the airships appeared in. However, they're mostly used as a level element to walk on and explore. This time, it's extremely limited compared to the 2D ones. They're quite small, you can't really do anything on them, and there's nothing special about them. Overall, quite disappointing. In this game, the airships have also been redesigned to resemble naval galleons, similar to how they appeared in the Super Mario Bros. 3 artwork. They probably wanted them to look like this from the very beginning, but the NES and SNES weren't powerful enough to create something like this. The amount of detail would be too much, but the Nintendo Wii, with its power to create 3D graphics, can easily do it, and so they did. Now in this game, there's also one example of something which we haven't really seen in the series before. A boss fight. In the final boss level of the kitchen area, you battle Bowser Jr., who else, and his flagship. You go from one airship to the other and battle enemies and dodge stuff here and there. At the end of it all, you encounter the boss. He will start shooting all kinds of projectiles at you like bullet bills, and you need to throw green Koopa shells at him in order to destroy a ship. The concept is quite simple. Dodge the stuff he shoots at you and fire back. That's it. A bit basic, but fun. And keep in mind, it's one of the first of the game, so the overall difficulty at this point is quite low. So all of a sudden the airships returned and got a key role in both the levels itself and even in the boss fights. Even the new Super Mario Bros. Series started to use them more after this game. In New Super Mario Bros. Wii, they're seen a ton, especially in the opening. In this game, it plays a similar role to what we saw in Super Mario Bros. 3, mostly functioning as a stage or arena to fight a boss. So it was used more, but nothing truly new or exciting. It was becoming a bit stale. Bringing it back is a good thing, but at least do something new with it. Even the second Galaxy game didn't offer anything new. It was another 3D series that eventually took it to new levels. Because in Super Mario 3D Land, Boom Boom makes a return, and there's also a new character called Pom Pom. The game was heavily influenced by the original Super Mario Bros. 3, so the airship levels are essentially a 3D version of the ones seen in that game. Lots of exploration, fire, bullet bills, and more. But this time around, you go from one airship to another, making the route more interesting and also giving Nintendo more options. And unlike Super Mario Galaxy, it was seen more and the route was more open. This is what we should have seen more in other games, because there's a lot more going on in these ones. Now in the games that followed, like New Super Mario Bros. 2 and Super Mario Odyssey, not a whole lot happened. They were used for similar purposes seen in earlier games. However, the Wii U game New Super Mario Bros. U did something interesting. The level boarding the airship completely flipped the script, and it was unlike any other scene in the Mario franchise. This one took place outside of the airship, progressing to the boss arena. Its pacing and layout is completely different and extremely diverse in terms of gameplay and mechanics. All of it is auto-scrolling like the older levels, but this time it starts off with Mario avoiding a huge mechanical hand that tries to crush him, goes over into a more classic airship stage, and ends with a boss fight with Bowser Jr. The structure is different from anything we have seen in the series so far, and personally, I'm quite a big fan of it. All the sections add something new to the experience and require the player to focus on different things. This has to be one of the best, if not the best airship stage in the entire franchise. They even added custom designs for all the koopalings. Clearly, New Super Mario Bros. U did a really good job, but sadly enough, this is where it ends. Super Mario Odyssey didn't really do anything new. It was seen, but only in cutscenes or to show that the broodals were around. Now, will it return in the next game? Who knows? It disappeared for a bit during the N64 era, and that could always happen again. Let's just hope they do something epic with it in the next big Mario adventure. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed. If you want to watch more videos, click the annotations on the screen right now. And be sure to subscribe and click the bell. It's very important. And why don't you follow me on Twitter and Instagram, you Nintendo Skooma. That's from Skyrim. Look it up.